Hey y'all, Sing Pipe here, aka Black Native. I'm feeling real good today. How y'all doing? All things working for your good? That's good. This video is more serious for me than the usual videos, just because I'm going to clarify my dream that I had that I shared with you guys. I'm going to clarify it. I'm going to show you what a lot of the symbology in the dream means and how you can identify with it and what it might mean for you. Remember the dream where there was a family, they were surrounded by life, they had a house in a field, and a force came against them, in the appearance of people, and the man in the house went out to defend the house, and to confront the force, but you know he destroyed the upfront masculine part of it, but he allowed the women to go in. There was an army of women, and they actually beat up his son and put him in the hospital and insulted his wife and all of that. So I'm gonna explain that. If you haven't seen that video, go click on it. It's right before this video. I'm just using this video to clarify, so I won't go into all of the whole story. But I want to say this real quick. That man actually symbolizes mankind. It actually symbolizes the Israelites. It actually symbolizes people of peace, people who are blessed, people who have a covenant with Yahawah, people who are in good standing with the universe, people who are doing the right thing, people who are living life based upon their divine design and doing what they're supposed to do, being in groove with the whole of existence. These type of people, right? The house is the mother. Remember when the son and the father were in this room, the dark room, surrounded by people with a spotlight on them, they were only alone. There was no more mother, there was no more wife, because the wife is the land. The wife is the home. The home was disrespected and desecrated. So when the women went into this home and actually started to disrespect her, entering the home was her. Entering the land was her. She was life. Remember, it was nothing but grass. It was nothing but a forest around them. It was just beautiful. It was a sunshiny day. It was peace. So the woman no longer existed because the woman is the land. The feminine energy of this home was the land. The man was the protector and the provider, the doer, the go-getter, right? The son is the seed. So the man is people. Period. Our ancestors, whether it was female or male. The woman is Mother Earth. You see what I'm saying? Mankind is the man. We gave permission to sin, to evil, to people who see themselves as our enemies, people who intend to resist us and bring harm to our way of life. Those demonic forces, those opposing, those who are the shaitan, Satan, some people say. That's what the army was. All right. So us as people, whether we are female or male, our ancestors are the creators of us. The mother is Mother Nature. Because our ancestors allowed certain people to come into our lives, right? Certain things to happen in the past, the decisions they made, it affected us, the seed, the son, the daughters. The son represents us today, right? We are the descendants, right? That's what the son represents. And he was in a hospital, right? And I told you he was unrecognizable. That means his identity was changed. That means our ancestors know it's us, but by the way we live, by the conditions we are in today, we are not easily recognizable, right? We don't live the same way. We don't have the same lifestyle. We're not carrying on the proper traditions. And if we are, it's not wholeheartedly, and it's not righteously. It's kind of like here and there. It's not consistent for a lot of people. So the the sun represents us today. Our ancestors is the father, and Mother Nature is America, Africa, Jamaica, wherever you want to say, wherever your place is, wherever you come from, right? Wherever your tribe originates, wherever they settle, that's the mother. That's who the mama represent. Now, the people who came against them were flesh and blood as well, right? So, but they were not the same. So people look like you, right, by having bones, skin, blood. However, they're not the same. They have different intentions, right? So that's one thing we have to look out for. It's not so much that we looking for monsters and things that we don't identify with. The people that came against his family were an army, and they looked like just regular people, right? But you can only tell by their actions that they were evil. So use your discernment and definitely protect yourself. Now, we are also the father. Why? Because we have people who are going to descend from us. We have children, we have grandchildren, we have people great, 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 great that's going to come after us, right? It's up to us to protect them and to neutralize all threats and to teach them as much as we can so that when we look back, we can recognize them. So Yahawah will recognize them by their ways. You can't just say, I am like, I know a lot of people say God, but I'm going to say the creator because that's who I am. You can't say like I'm like the creator and pray and all of that, but if you don't live the lifestyle, then you're not easily identifiable. You're not family. So when a son went to reach to commit suicide, that's us. It's like we ready for this to be over. Like the suffering is so bad, that's why we got all these protests. That's why you got like look at our conditions today. Like as the world, like there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of rap music. That's all self-destructive behavior. Like there's a lot of look at the reality TV shows, look at all of the drugs out here, look at all of the depression, look at all of the anxiety. Look all of the things we bring upon ourselves. Look at our environments, ghettos, projects. That's self-destructive. That's the same as suicide, right? So when he went to reach for that, that's what that was. That's us today doing all of these things to commit suicide. The father looked down, right? And when he went to do that, the world said, "No, don't do that." It was the people out of the darkness, right? The world leaders, the politicians, people you don't see. A lot of people like to talk about the shadow government. I don't give power to that because I like to keep my power and invest it wisely. So just people who are, let's just say, strange. They don't identify with you. They don't have your best interests. They just out here wanting to see you suffer, because if they loved you, they would either step in, because they was right there in the same room. It was just kind of like, to describe it a little better, if some people, on the movies when they do the electric chair or the lethal injection, and you can only see the prisoner and a person who's actually performing the act of killing this person, and everybody else is in a darkness and watching it kind of like it's a movie or a theater. That's how it was. They could have just walked in and saved and helped us, the son, or they could have just killed us, but they just rather watch and let us suffer. So finally the father said, "You know what? I can't take this no more. Our ancestors, the one true creator, our actual first predecessor, our first ancestor, the original, who comes before us, that's also the father. He looked at us and said, 'Forget this. I'm pulling the plug for you.' And as he does that, the perspective, instead of me looking at this son, I became the son. And that's when I realized it was us. But that's the father coming soon. He's telling me right now that he's coming soon. He's coming soon. He's pulling the plug because he rather end it all to start all over than to watch us suffer and to watch the whole world become polluted even more. It's already full to the brim with pollution. So that's why he's pulling the plug. Don't be afraid. If it's for you to make it into New Eden, you will make it. If it's not, then know that it's in Yahawah's plan. You have the ability to change your life. You have the ability to make the right decisions. I'm not going to tell everybody that they're going to make it. That's just a lie. It's just not prophecy. Prophecy says that most people won't make it. So look at that. But the Father represents our ancestors, but it's most importantly represents the one true creator who we came from. And the mother, and as well as the home and the whole environment, the field, the grass, nature, that represents Mother Nature, the universe. The sun represents all of his creation. That represents us, the animals, everything else. All right, the people looking on represents the demons, represents negativity, represents dark principalities that want to see us dead. That want not dead, suffer, because that's a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? The Creator allowed them to suffer, right? Because he could have destroyed them, but he sent them down, and he said they would have no rest, that they couldn't look at him. And if you know anything about angels or principalities, you know that you only gain rest and peace through serving the one true Creator. So if he denied you to look at him and denied you from speaking to him, then you have no rest. Insomnia, anxiety, depression, fear, anger. That's what these beings go through. And that's why they want to see us go through the same thing. But this is what I am implying. Even though I was breathing barely in that moment, where I took the perspective of this son of this child dying, gasping for air, walking around, struggling, I realized that this was for the best. Look, 11:11, and also that every death is a beginning. All right, so think about that. Every death is a beginning. I love y'all. This is a message from, not from me, Yahawah. You say somebody's a prophet or not, it don't matter. I'm just saying what Yahawah shows me in my dreams. If you see this video, take heed. There's billions of people on this planet. Only a chosen few will see this video, or the video right before this. And if you haven't seen a video right before this, you need to see that to understand this dream. Billions of people will not see this video, so you're chosen to see it. So take heed. You have an opportunity. I'm letting you know right now the Creator's coming soon. I love y'all. Much peace and positivity. Know who you are. I just gave you the timeline. I just gave you who we are and where we come from. And we're going back. Every death is a birth. Love y'all.